Yeah, we'll hang. Looking at that doom split got me, Brendan. He will not be paying for child support. The gold with the crackle that complements the nameplate is the singular best split type in Marvel Snap, though, chat. S tier. Woo! Move bounce. Not sure we're gonna have a window to ever Killmonger here, because I assume they're bouncing this turn. I don't think I can Killmonger right now. I'm not sure that our linear numbers are going to be enough here. We've got some pretty solid ones. We have to go Blue Marvel into an Onslaught, maybe. I guess Onslaught middle's pretty big, huh? I could go like Blue Marvel right into Onslaught Wasp. Yeah, the Onslaught on Patriot with Dazzler here might actually be enough. Especially if they stack a lot of point spin, we get to double up Dazzler. Oh my god, they lost the 50-50 on their Angelo with Doctor Strange. Brutal. Okay, yeah, I think we're actually gonna be okay here now. I don't even want to Killmonger. Dazzler is going to be a casual 214 here in the center.
Oh, snap.
Try and get some more cubes out of him here before the Blue Marvel and friends flip up. So this is 6, 7, 8 here, which would put me to 17.
Victory.
And then it would give me +6 over here up to 29. And then obviously I'm gaining another 6, 13 here in the middle. So we're good to go here. Maybe they're not a bounce list? They must be playing Falcon at least with Angela, right? Well, that was a solid draw.
Opponent snapped.
I guess they could be playing triple 1-drop and beating us to the fill here, but I feel like that's unlikely. So, I'm gonna stay through the snapback since we drew the Wasp. Got him. Alright, if we can dodge Miguel moving into Bifrost, we can dodge them all.
My mighty hand.
The Iron Lad could be Mystique here.
Behold my mighty hand.
We would have had the perfects there if they hadn't pushed us. Sad. Would I rather copy Patriot or rather copy Blue Marvel? Probably Blue Marvel, right?
Victory.
Some clean living. Promising first game. WND Butter, thank you for the 14 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Mockingbird waiting room. I want to be excited for Mockingbird, but if she works with Thanos stones, I feel like that's just going to overshadow anything remotely interesting you could do with her. Yeah, viewer decks have kind of been killing it so far today. Definitely the best viewer deck day we've had in a while, which again, I think is a testament to the quality of the current format. Nova inside of Destroy. Iron Lad. Okay, are they the... Professor X and Eliath are both cards I want to be mindful of, if possible. I might just be rich. I think this might just be a fact-finding game at this point. Just check one or two more cards in their deck as we on our way. So again, I'm just intentionally passing here because this is Gold Conquest and my opponent has it snapped, so I just wanted to see more cards in their deck so I have more information about what their output range is in the subsequent games here. is very good for them. Speaking of untap crashed. That's awkward. Don't think I can tempo Shadow King here. Yeah. Yeah. Yup. Yup, yup. Yup, yup. Yup, yup. Give your finest hulks, please. Oh, the tracker crashing means I lost the info that we had. I got a few bangers here. What Ireland, I think. Hey, Paxton! Thanks for the quarter of a year. Welcome back. And Callisto, thank you for the 10 bucks.
One hit, two more shall take its place.
What's going on, Aughts? Appreciate the 49 months. Dip-a-dop, my doom bots. Really love these doom bots. Whipping up the doom. Yeah, yeah. Order, good call. Wasp! Wasp! There's our gal. There's our gal, chat. Wasp is 6. Dazzler is 9. I don't know if I can. I don't know if they stay if we boomer stabs. I think I just let them limp. Nope. Rip. Needed our Dazzler to be opposite of their null. Their one that got pulled in was bad for them as well. If you're someone being a Captain Hindsight telling me I should have played harder for the 2 left lanes, I would like to respond to that statement with asking you the question, how big was their null? Because I bet you can't answer that question and couldn't tell me with certainty that their null wouldn't have won the left for them, or threatened to win the right for them without the other one. I also wasn't counting their null, but you're only saying what you're saying after the fact because you knew the size of it, not that you counted it previously, which is an important distinction.
Victory.
How do you succeed at becoming a professional streamer and taking care of a family at the same time? Well, I mean, it's no different than any other full-time job or self-employed person that also has a family. As for the how do you become a successful content producer, the answer is super easy and absolutely anybody could do it. Get really fucking lucky. The Twitch CEO was actually rightfully got a bunch of crap because he commented on a live stream that the best way to grow on Twitch is to do collabs with other bigger content creators. And it's like, yes, dear Twitch CEO, nepotism is in fact the best way to grow on your platform. Thank you for saying it out loud. Trickle-down creatornomics, yep. That's the best way to have a successful Twitch channel today is to have been successful on YouTube 5 years ago. Like a known quantity in a lot of industries. You are correct that nepotism is a part of most parts of life, but the way in which one existing bigger creator can directly build up other ones that are non-existent in a big way that's happened multiple times is a little bit. The extreme nature of it is a little bit different than what you see in other industries. The degree to which it happens. Instead of buying property in the wake of the 2008 crash, I was an unemployed student. Yeah, basically. Even my own personal housing situation is like mostly dumb luck that my family's in the position we're in. I incidentally had a good year on Twitch in 2019, so my wife and I were incidentally looking to move to a house that was slightly bigger than the one we had previously been living in, and we like closed on our house at a good rate and price just before the market went crazy. It's not like we planned it or strategized it. It's just like, it just worked out that way. It's like, no joke. When we put the offer in on the home that my wife and I live in now, the the seller's real estate agent told him he really needed to consider our offer because he hadn't gotten one in 6 months and might not get another for another 6 months. Just like completely different state of existence than what the world is at the moment. Last day further step here. Blue marble into onslaught left, sounds great. Wasp would have been our best strike here, but this is still pretty good.
Behold my mighty
Oh,
hand.
we're getting
Not
blood.
one and
Rip.
2 more shall take its place.
Yeah, it's fair. Our only other option here was leaving, right? Which I guess we could have done, but yeah. I don't love Shadow King in this style of deck. Just because it's so, like, I have such a hard time envisioning what our typical turn 5 or 6 looks like, where we have time to play this card. I guess sometimes we're like Mystiquing or Patrioting with it, but those games seem kind of few and far between. Super Vodka, thank you for the 10 months of Prime. Appreciate that. Welcome back. The extra funny slash for people talking about things like the housing market and how loans and stuff work in the US are so fucked up. Like my big year on Twitch in 2019, I think I made right around 250,000 USD that year. It was my biggest year on the platform before last year was Snap. And if my wife hadn't had a traditional job, we probably wouldn't have gotten the mortgage for our home. Like despite having a plenty of money in the bank for a sizable down payment and like having a year's worth of solid income, we would not have been able to qualify for the mortgage that we got if my wife didn't have a traditional job, because my job wasn't sufficient for what they wanted. Such an incredible racket that like people who have been paying rent that's more than the mortgage would be for years are said, okay, you can't qualify for a home mortgage even though it's less than what you've been spending for forever.
Oh, snap. Opponent snapped.
You can't qualify to pay $1,200 a month, keep paying $2,000. Yeah, exactly. For waiting on the forge.
Enough said, bub.
Oh, well, that's lovely. Now I do this, and then we just onslaught the Patriot, right? So the cost of owning a home is more than the mortgage, sure. But most rents are significantly more than a mortgage. So if you're paying significantly more than the mortgage, you can probably afford the mortgage, plus the extras. Kevo, thank you for the 11 months. Welcome back. Jet, don't forget that denying people home mortgages who likely have the ability to afford them is one of the primary ways in which they deny people the ability to create generational wealth. For most people in the middle class, and honestly even the higher end of middle class, their house is the most valuable thing that they own, right? It's their way they actually make money without having extra to put endlessly into a stock market to make there, too.
Behold my mighty hand rules all.
They thought our Dr. Doom was enough. It is not, gamer. Their null would have been 19, which also is not enough.
Snap. Victory.
This Patriot core honestly seems pretty fine. Dazzler is a very reasonable card in it. I think the only card I'm not convinced on in this shell is the Shadow King. It seems real clunky to fit into our curve, but I kind of dig the rest of what's going on here. The old Iron Land Brood good stuff, kind of. It's funny, we were talking about the Iron Land Brood good stuff deck earlier today. We were talking about how it'd been a while since I've seen it. It's kind of nice to get to poke at this a little bit. It's still cheaper than, for people looking to buy their first home, check out FHA. Yeah, there are some Essence first home buyers. And honestly, the funniest, most obnoxious thing about needing my wife's job to get our second home mortgage is it wasn't even like we didn't have history. Like, we had like 3 or 4 years at that point paying a mortgage successfully in our home before it. So it's not even like there was nothing there, right? Like, there was plenty of written history of our ability to be able to afford to do that type of thing. I think it's just Iron Lad here. Hit Mystique can be sad, but everything that's not Mystique is a really solid Iron Lad hit here. Did I sell my first home or become an evil landlord? I am not a landlord. I work my absolute hardest to not be part of the problems that I'm trying to fix whenever possible under late stage capitalism. Notable that's not always possible. Sometimes it's unavoidable, because life is life, but ending up a landlord is definitely what I could easily and solidly avoid. Do I Shadow King and then Forge? So that way if we hit rocks here, we just like Patriot and don't have to pass? I think that's the play. Although if this ends up being Project Pegasus, I'm gonna be sad that I burned the Shadow King. Yeah, rip. Unfortunate. Oops. Thing. There's a name I haven't heard in a long time.
Rules all.
An extra blue marble or an extra Patriot? It's extra blue marble. I'll snap back here because I think my deck's terrible against a hazmat deck anyway, so I'm just gonna duck if we lose. I assume we're dead here, but my body's ready for it to be over. Guys, gals, and non-binary pals, we got him. Let's go. Itty bitty baby Hulk. He's so little. The old 7-power wasp. Slightly above average stat line.
Victory.
I don't know that I have a good replacement offhand for Shadow King. I feel like you probably just want another cheap card-ish that you could play on curve. Maybe it's just like Mr. Sinister. Sinister is good with Forge and Nico, and it fills nicely for Dazzler in spots. I don't think Mojo is very good. You just don't control where your opponent plays stuff. Mysterio is not a card you want in this deck. He's not a card that you basically ever want to play on curve, and you don't have room to play him late on the last turn of the game. I think my answer is Mr. Sinister. Because again, the problem with Shadow King, for people that are coming, someone said not another cheap tech card. The problem with Shadow King is this, and this is the thing enough people don't think about when it comes to putting tech cards in their deck. People just like are derp, play tech card wins me the game sometimes. The thing about a deck like this is that you don't have room to play that tech card on the turns of the game where it matters. So Shadow King, Shang-Chi, Enchantress, these are cards that you need to play on turns 5 and 6. And when you look at a deck like this and you think about, okay, how am I spending my energy on turns 5 and 6? It's like, do I want to be playing Shadow King or do I want to be playing like Blue Marvel or Doctor Doom or Onslaught, stuff like that? So these decks that are aiming to play like these big 5s and 6s on the last turn, generally speaking, don't have room to play tech cards like this. Because like, there's like some small case where you're like, all right, Shadow King plus Patriot or maybe like plus a Forge. But I think that's a pretty specific combination of cards that you also had to not have early, and that has to be better than just like slamming your bomb. Basically, I think if you're in a spot where you think this is a card that you need, your top end and deck just look different than what this deck is looking to do. You just don't have room to play these things. You play a proactive card like Cosmo or Goose or Armor. I mean, none of our stuff is getting blown up, so Armor's not useful. We have a ton of on reveals, so I don't know that Cosmo sounds great. And Goose is kind of disruptive to us in addition to the opponent.